It's the simple idea of the C6 lick. Now, I decided to do one video on one of the licks just to show you how versatile this one lick is, and actually how easy it is to fit under the hand. If you visualize this, you have a C scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and all it is the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 6th note. And it goes to the octave. So what I like to do, if you're getting used to sliding off of that minor third of C, which is E flat to E, and use finger 2 to 2, it's a triplet. We have another lick that's in the chorus that is also in the Sweet 16 that's a longer lick. It's 3 and 4, then minor third, the Cruella part, and then it ends with a nice little enclosure there. But this one is 1 and 2 and then 3 and, which is another nice thing about you can do so many different rhythms with this one idea. And I want you to get this under your fingers. And I'm going to teach you with this one lick different ways you can play this in order to play it in all keys. Calling this the practice squad as we get ready to put these licks head to head to see who gets in the Elite 8. Isn't that nice the way it's written out? Everything that I do has the fingering written out, or almost everything. 1 and 2 and then 3 and. And notice that my hand goes over the shape of the octave. 1 and 2 and then 3 and. Now I'm going to show you some secret sauce things that you need to know. If I do this, I did the 6th, the 5th, kind of as a little filler. So that's one option. You can do 6, 5 of the scale, and I do 4, 3. Now that's one option. Another thing you could do is, and you could go to the B flat, right? You could go. And I did up the octave. Here's another nice thing you can do is you could play the lick and play any of your blues scale notes, and it's going to work. That time, instead of octave, I did but I want to show you guys a really important tip. How do you get this in all keys? Well, the one thing that you have to know is you have your slide from the black key to the white key. But also, if you go to D flat, you can't slide onto that third. So you have to hammer on. So what I do is I get up into the keys. Now watch this very closely. Hammer on to from the minor to the major third, and then I go 4 on the 5th. The 6th is my pinky. And then I open up my hand to get the octave. And you want it to sound as close as it does when you do the slide. So you just practice that. Now, D major is also a hammer-on. So you open up your hand to get that. E flat's a slide. E major is a hammer-on. F is a slide, F sharp is a hammer-on. So with those two fingerings, you can play this idea in all keys. All right, so let's go back to the key of C, because we want to get this thing in the key of C. And just so you know, once you get this slide down, once you go to F, it's the exact same movement, just starting on F. And same thing on G. All right, so let's talk once again about all the different kinds of variations you can do. I could come down and go to the flat 7. I could go 6, 5. I really like that one. And I could go major third. And sometimes what I do is I'll go minor third to major third and kind of slide up there even with the octave. Or I could go. all I'm doing there is just playing blues scale notes. Sometimes you just want that sound, and you have the octave, so it's a good thing to practice that as well. Another thing I might want to do is maybe I don't want to go all the way up to the octave. Maybe I want to do this. Right? I went up to the 6th note, and then I went to that flat 7. It's a nice thing to do. Or major 3rd, minor 3rd. Sometimes you want to go up to that octave, and sometimes you want to hit that flat 7. I always tell everybody, if you're not feeling bluesy or jazzy, go to that flat 7. So why not use the octave? We've been doing different etudes. Some of them are pentatonic etudes, and some of them are blues scale. So the difference is with that pentatonic, I've been doing these little riffs here for you guys and creating these etudes. Pentatonic is a nice sound, so sometimes I want to have, instead of this with that F sharp, which I think is really important, sometimes I want this sound. What's up, Jeffrey? The most consistent man at iMusicAcademy online whenever I go public. What's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you. Thank you for always hanging out. All right, so watch this. Sometimes I want to do this. And I hear this. Bum, 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 bum. That's the pentatonic. Or whenever you want that blues sound, you know that you can go da-da-da-da. That's a nice thing whenever you hit that minor 3rd, because if I go to the F chord, I'm already on the flat 7. That's why I can hang out there. Now watch the F chord. All right, very good. All right, so anybody who's just now joining us, I did put the link in there for Google. And yeah, like I love this. I think I first heard this one lick on when I was listening to Red Garland. And just remember that you can do this. I can go halfway up, or I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do this. But let's say I want to get a lot done, I don't have a lot of time, or maybe I'm on the beginner level side of things and I want to, push it a little bit and maybe try to play it in another key. Well, you can play it in C if you have that fingering down and that motion on the hand. Then you go to F, It's the same exact thing. You go to G, you're good to go. Now, the next thing you want to do is say, I'm going to go with Bob's up-down approach. Your up-down is play something familiar and comfortable to you, and then you go up a half step. Now, D flat, watch this. I'm going to have to hammer on. I could go. Or the other thing we said we could go 6-5. Or just get this down. Go back to C if you feel uncomfortable. What about go down to B? Once you do that, once you start playing something that you're really familiar with, and then you push yourself and start playing in a different key, it starts to feel really good. Like even if you took another example from our Sweet 16 examples, would be this. And you know it really well because you've been hanging out with me for a while. You're going to go up to D flat, and you have to hammer on to that D flat, and then you'll go down to B and learn how to do that there. Go back to your home, come for key. And I hope that everybody enjoys that little idea of this really important lick. I have 4 blues volumes at iMusicAcademy, 4, plus a blues alternate bassline course. And I went through all 4 volumes and I found my 16 favorite, what I call maybe even most useful. It's out of 4 different volumes, so 40 plus licks, and here are my favorites. So awesome.